we are the number 3 pick, and everyone that kind of raised a lot of Sixers fans' spirits. We went from almost not having the pick to being in the top 3 and getting one of the guys that a lot of people didn't think we were going to get. And now that we are here, now you have the Sixers fans, pro one player, and then some are anti another player. Now that we are here, so it's a big time division. Of course, Sixers fans, any fan base, is going to find some kind of thing to be divisive and have division over. So Eric, last 2 weeks we've kind of talked about some of these options, and everyone just wanted to know what is Eric going to say. And Tage and I kept saying we're very curious to hear what Eric is going to say to kind of break the tie, if you will. So everyone thinks it's a 2-man race between VJ Edgecombe and Ace Bailey at the 3 pick. Who are you leaning, and why, Eric?
To be honest with you, I'm still deciding. I'm still deciding. We still got time before the draft. Got to do a little more homework. And the reason why I say that is when you look at our team and our best 2 young guys are guards. But then it comes down to we kind of see McCain, he kind of took off his first year. But what if McCain is best fit as the 3rd guard?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's smaller than Maxey. So what if he's best fit as a 3rd guard? And you have a 3-guard rotation. Well, that's where VJ comes in, or even another option comes in, where you can have a true wing. So then you have the other option. I won't say I was disappointed. I was surprised when his real height came out.
Bailey.
Yes.
Okay.
I was surprised when his real height came out, because that changed it for me. I thought he would be more of a 4-3. With that height, he's more of a 3-4, but he didn't necessarily play like a 3-4. He still played like a 4-3. Which tells me I don't know how he's going to – I know the talent's going to transfer to the NBA, but I don't know the position. I really don't know if the position is as firm. Now, for us in the future, 3-4 are both a position of need.
Yeah.
Both. So wherever he's fits best is kind of where you use him.
Either way.
The bonus I have from that is he would come in and play with and against in practice a guy, Paul George, who he can kind of take a lot from.
Yeah.
As far as style of play and what he's been through and what works, what could work, what he can work on. So that's a definite benefit for him. But I'm still stuck on what the Sixers will do in the future with the guard position and how they are looking to use it. Because if you look right now and you look at the 4 teams that are left in the NBA, right? I wouldn't necessarily say their best player, because I think the Pacers' best player is Pascal, but their most dominant player is Halliburton. The Knicks, maybe their best player is Towns, but their most dominant player is Brunson. You look at the other 2 teams in the West, their best players are perimeter players. So, I mean, outside of Joker and Giannis, this is where the league is going. If you have a guy
and Wemby, up and coming Wemby.
I mean, Wemby. I'm just saying, but those are you got Wemby, and you got outside of you got Wemby, but Wemby is different. You know what I'm saying? You got those, but I'm just saying, like outside of that, it's kind of like a perimeter game. So, and I don't say that to lean towards the guard. I say that to lean towards having someone with extreme skill that can play on the perimeter. And that's where I'm kind of like still kind of like, wait a minute. Are we just going with who we think is the most skilled and most talented? Are we going with someone that's maybe the skill isn't that much of a difference? And then we'll go with someone that kind of fits our young nucleus. So I would say right now I'm not really leaning either way
Okay.
because I still have to see more. I still have to see more. Like if I was drafting today, I would draft Bailey based on the ceiling.
Okay.
If I was drafting today, but I will hold that until we get a little closer to the draft because I've talked to a couple people, researched a little bit. I've had people kind of throw another name, other one or two names, and say they should be in consideration for our team because they felt that they were better shooters or better fitter. They felt we need more shooting, and felt that they were better shooters than those two guys. Like the Johnson kid from Texas.
Yeah, he can lights out shoot.
So I've had someone say that, oh, he's a better fit for you all. No, I don't necessarily believe him. I'm just saying, like, that's where people that I know that scout, that's sort of how they look at it. Like, I'm not sure when it comes down to them, if they were making a decision to draft, if they would make that decision. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But people can say that, in private, how they feel. So I still have to see more, man. I have to see more, and I have to see more from the Sixers as far as what we're going to do. This is, at this time now, I kind of wish that it was more of the NFL version of free agency before the draft.
Yeah, that would help.
But
because we have to see what happens with Grimes too. That's another guard in our rotation right there.
Yeah, I mean the way he played, like that eliminates, VJ. But I'm not sure if we're gonna keep everybody.
We don't know. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But if we do, then yeah, definitely. If Grimes if that's what I'm saying, if Grimes is a huge part of them moving forward, and he's going to stay, then yes, Bailey's the guy for sure.
Yeah.
If you have that in your plans, but yeah, we do have more kind of guys from that standpoint. But my thing is Ace Bailey comes, right, and this is where the height kind of comes in. You have Ace Bailey and you have Paul and you have Kelly. Is he going to be either one of those guys out? He's no bigger. He's smaller than Paul, and he's no bigger than Kelly.
No, I don't think he starts.
So that's where I'm saying is like that's where the height kind of like. I thought he was closer to like 6'10", like he was listed. Like I thought he was like a straight 4'3",
6'9".
Yeah, so like I thought maybe 6'9" barefoot, but 2 inches shorter than that that's a big difference.
Yeah,
that's a big difference. So
what was his official height? 6'7" and 3/4.
I don't know. When you get into them quarters, I'm giving you the. I'm rounding down. I'm not rounding up.
He is still really young though. He's still he's a fresh 18.
Yes, he's young.
He could still grow another inch and change.
Yes, I grew an inch in college, so I know that's possible.
6'7.5" was his official combine height.
So he could be 6'9" in the next couple of years. Could be.
So the thing about it is, like, you have a lot of guys that are maybe shorter than you thought, but they play bigger. I watched him a lot because obviously in the Big Ten, he had his moments. The Big Ten their physicality is there and real. I wouldn't necessarily say they one of the most talented conferences out of all the conferences, but their team was disappointing. So I don't really know how much was just their team and all of that.
Yeah, he has a good. He's long though.
From that standpoint, yeah, he's bigger. It's something that I think with Paul being older, you kind of lean towards that position and kind of addressing that. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? Are we just getting the best talented guy, or are we trying to get the best fit? I don't know. Have the Sixers said anything about that?
No, they all the I think Maury's made some podcast appearances and he's talked about Ace Bailey being a guy. That's the only guy they've really asked about. No one's actually come on and asked about BJ Edgecombe, but the people have asked him straight about Ace Bailey and how he fits some of the things that we want. But then you have people pulling from Maury's postseason presser where he talked about like they want to be have a more athletic type of guy that would kind of lean more Edgecombe than Ace Bailey. Based on that kind of look, but yeah, nothing from Maury on the third pick really.
I mean, are they considering Ace Bailey not an athletic guy?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, fans are speculating.
He's not like him, BJ, but I'm saying, but he's not a non-athletic guy.
Yeah, I've seen him do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I guess fans are saying because Edgecombe's more athletic than Bailey that he would be that athletic guy. That's pro Edgecombe fans saying that.
Bailey would still join our team and probably be the most athletic guy on our team day one.
He was faster than Harper at the combine.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
who was?
Bailey was.
Bailey was.
I mean, is Harper considered a fast guy though? I mean, he's not considered.
No, but everyone's kind of dogging Bailey's speed or saying he can't blow by people, and I'm like, that's not because of his speed. That's because his handles aren't tight. If he tightens up his handles,
but that's where I went to when I was saying he played like a 4-3 instead of a 3-4.
Mm.
And now his height is saying he's a 3-4 instead of a 4-3.
Yeah,
but his game said he was a 4-3.
I watched an interesting report on him. Someone broke him down a lot of his metrics. His mid-range game is like crazy. They compared him to other recent draft. They compared him to Palo, and he shot like 9 or 10 higher percent than him in mid-range. It says mid-range is already, and that's with him taking bad shots. Yeah. So imagine when he cleans some of that up or gets less attention, that percentage will go up, right? So,
and what do you consider Palo to be? A what? 4-3, 4?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'd say
4-3. Yeah.
So you can, the way they have these guys playing, you can have those mid-range shots. You'll set more pick and rolls, and you can knock those shots down, and you flash in the middle. You play a little different. When you think 3, it's more threes further out, more ball handling with pick and roll where you have the ball. Think Jimmy Butler type.
Yeah.
So
and he can slash too. He's a good cutter. One thing about him is like, I think for him and his development, I think it would be good to come to a place where he doesn't have that, top pick pressure, like go out there and like put up stats. I think he can kind of sit back and work on his game and develop a little more with like a really good team like this. What do you think about that?
I mean, the issue with what you're saying is technically the first 3 teams, that's how it would be for him.
Usually.
Yeah, I mean, the Mavericks can't take him because they obviously can't.
Oh, yes.
They got to take Cooper Flag. But
yes.
I'm saying if they were 2 or 3, that would be the same kind of thing for him.
Yeah.
Because all 3 teams weren't necessarily teams that were set up to kind of like rebuild.
I know.
So
it's pretty crazy.
Kind of in a good spot in 1 through 3 is what I'm saying. Like, obviously we know who the Mavericks are going to take. But I do think that it fits, man. I just think that I just don't know how you can right now kind of be firm on what you want, and kind of without us really knowing how this team is going to look. I think Grimes, that's a huge call. What they're going to do if Grimes is coming back. If Grimes is coming back, I think you're taking Bailey or a bigger guy. But DJ he may blow him away in that workout. You got to work out both guys. You got to work out Harper too. So the interview workout process is going to be interesting.
Do you think Flag is that much higher? Do you think do you firmly think, well, most people think he's on his own tier?
I don't know if it's that much separation as far as real talent. I just think it's very clear who they're going to take. I think it's very clear that he's going to be number one.
Some NBA players have Flag and Bailey like neck and neck. Like some NBA players think like they're saying, I don't know if it's personal relationships with him or but they say Bailey might be ranked higher than Flag. I think Boogie Cousins said it, right?
Yeah, Cousins said it.
And then a lot of other guys think they were pretty like George has said in the past he thinks they're really close.
Yeah, I think during the year George actually said that he would take Bailey over Flag, and then now he's changed a little bit, but he's
changed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what a lot of these guys are looking at is they've seen these guys just from USA Basketball and these kids coming up and travel and EYBL and all the different things that they play. That some of these, and probably worked out with some of them, probably seeing the raw talent of what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many people tell me from a talent standpoint, it's not much difference, or they would put Bailey ahead of him. That's something I've heard too.
So ceiling then.
Yeah. So
potential.
A lot of people think that, I wouldn't say a lot of people. I hear people think that Cooper Flag is better, but his room for improvement is higher.
He's
not
closer
not
to his ceiling.
Wide, not as wide.
Okay.
They're basically saying he's really good now, but he's not going to make this huge jump when he gets to the NBA. I'm not one to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's a 2010 guy, majority of his career. Now, I don't think he's a 30 guy. I may be proven wrong. But I think with Bailey, he has a chance to be a 30 guy. That's where you kind of like, you looking at it, you're like, okay, well, I know the NBA game. Like, I see, the guys are looking out of the NBA kind of like mirror, like, okay, I know the NBA game. I see what he can do. Now, he can really take off when he get there. Well, yeah, but, then comes in, how does he work? What teams does he go to? How do they use him? A lot of things still have to go your way.
True.
For that to happen, for them to maximize his talent and ability. But yeah, I've heard both ways of people thinking that. But I don't think, like I said, I didn't think that Cooper was extremely more talented than him, but he was more dominant in college.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a difference in Duke's team when he got there versus when he wasn't there. And they had talent before that. But he was more dominant. I mean, he has, things that he need to work on just like everybody else does. But I thought the college season kind of showed the separation, whether you want to talk about skill or not. But the college season showed the separation that I don't think you could take Bailey over him after witnessing what you witnessed in college.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Erica, one of the most comments we got, because we kind of talked about his height a little bit, but one of the most comments we got over the last few weeks was people are kind of overplaying this whole height thing, that when he puts shoes on, he is about 6'8.5", 6'9". So why is that such a big deal? That was kind of the one thing that I think a lot of people want us to ask you about. And you're saying because he's a 4'3", that does kind of play.
Well, I mean, it plays into sometimes. Because when he puts his shoes on, everybody else put theirs on too. So it's not like he's gaining height. Yeah. So the reason why I say that is because if it's not that big of a difference, then more perimeter players can defend him. So if we play him at 4, now, say for instance, we play him at 4 and Paul is out and we got somebody else, or either, with Paul, and then you have Joel and Maxey and McCain, right? Now you go and you play, let me see, we play Denver. Well, Denver can say, okay, Paul George is their 3, but we're going to put Eric Gordon on their 3. And then we can put I forgot the 3's name for Denver. We're going to put him on Bailey, because we don't think he causes any kind of issue because there's no real height difference. He don't cause any issue. He's not going to post a guy up. He's not going to punish the 3-man. So we can put a 2 or maybe a 3 or that maybe a 2 on him. So that's where the height kind of comes in, where you have a 4-man, it doesn't give you any kind of advantage a lot on the perimeter on the post. Where if you come in and all of a sudden he's 6'9" or he's 6'10", and you put a 6'5" guy on him, it's clear. Now that's an advantage. You put a 6'6", that's an advantage. But you eliminate some advantages with that maybe I thought going in that you had. You see how I
100%. Yeah.
So, but like I said, some guys are smaller but play bigger. So he may play bigger. We don't know. But that's why I say it wasn't like disappointing. I was just surprised. Like 3 inches differences. And I know most guys in college get height. But same thing with the kid from Michigan State, Jay Rich son. He was like listed at 6'3", and he was like 6'1.5". Yeah. I knew he wasn't 6'3" because I was seeing him. So I knew he wasn't 6'3".
Right.
But I didn't know he was like almost 1.5 inches or 2 inches shorter than me. You know what I'm saying?
Some people looked at that video of Giannis working out with Bailey, and they look pretty close in height. They look like right there with each other.
That's why I said it was surprising to me. He doesn't. He didn't.
Giannis is a real like he was 6'11".
Nothing about him looked like that. Like I was. Like I'm still kind of like for real. That's it. That's all he measured. He wasn't even 6'8".
It's weird. Because
Yeah.
Giannis is like 6'11", right? A real 6'11".
I don't know.
Maybe 6'10.5". Let's get the halves out.
I don't know. He has really, really long arms, so he may come off as taller than you think. And the league isn't as tall as it used to be. So he.
And back then, I think they were still doing shoe measurements, like with shoes, right? Or no?
Yeah, they just started the no shoe like a couple years. 2 or 3 years ago.
So it's hard to really know then because he probably got measured with shoes.
No, but everybody's current height is no shoes.
Listed? Really?
Everybody's current height in the NBA is no shoes. Because you look at a guy like Steph Curry, I think went from 6'3" to 6'2". His height, his listed height.
Right.
I mean, Giannis is listed at 6'11".
They might be. But I'm just saying that you look at everybody's listed in NBA height is barefoot.
But I heard Durant talking about this recently, and he was laughing at all these listed heights, saying it's all because these people aren't that high. Man, he's not. They're talking about AD and like Joel, and he's like, Joel's not 7 foot. Joel's like 6'10", like 6'11". Like he was saying, AD's shorter than that too. He was kind of making fun. He even said his own height. He's like, they list me at that. I'm not that either. So like, it's interesting to hear that because I don't know.
So but the thing about the NBA is, when I went in there, they had my same height and weight basically. I think my height and weight changed one time during my whole career. I was listed at 6'3", and then later on I was listed at 6'3" at a different weight. That was the only time it changed my whole career. My weight
did you even know it was going to be changed, or did you just like show up?
No, when I changed it, it was just like I changed because I changed teams.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
And then they kind of weighed you, and then they put your weight down. But you could change it. But like, no, I don't weigh that. I weigh this, and they would just change it. It really wasn't that big of a deal. Like nobody really like pressed you on your height and your weight.
Because if you think about it, like,
because I think what AI was listed as, I don't think he ever weighed that.
Yeah, 165.
Like he didn't weigh it during the season. As the season went on, like most people as a lighter weight or something. So do you put your weight at the beginning of the year? You put your weight at the end of the year. You put your weight at the middle of the year. Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's true.
Because most people's weight when they weigh you when you come into camp is probably usually heavier than it is come February.
Because looking at that video, there's no way Antetokounmpo, he's not 4 inches taller than him in that video. He's just not. So like either Giannis is like 6'9", or Bailey's.
That's what
like
I'm saying. Like he may not be as tall as they say that. We don't know.
Yeah, because they're pretty close in height in that one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's interesting. Yeah, so like you hear, guys, Tasia and I are both ace as of right now. When we did this last week or 2 weeks ago, and Eric, as of right now, is leaning ace, but he's still right in the undecided. So we still have a couple weeks to get down our black and white, put in our card on to make this official.